What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, creator of the Outright Bar, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com. Facebook Q&A. If it's a little bit echoey, it's because it's at night. My kids are home. They're in the basement playing soccer because it's snowing outside, and I have to close the door, or else it would sound like we are killing children in our household. Am I right, Katie, or am I right? You know what? Sometimes, I'm going to be real, like you be the most calm, nice, collected parent in the world. Sometimes you're debating. No, just kidding. I love my kids. Sometimes. All right, check it out. So the Facebook Q&A. Sorry I'm late, you guys. I posted this on October 17th. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, it is a great place to interact. I will be on there more often. I've been traveling a lot. For example, the Outright Bar, due to my travels, is in all Navy bases, all Hy-Vees, going into all ShopRites. Dude, there's so many wins to be had. I also guest post. For those who haven't seen my guest posting, it's on the YouTube channel, and pretty proud of myself. I've also made a couple announcements. One is that July of 2021, I might be making another run for another pro card. My NABA pro card expired, so I figure, hey, I'm old now. I get a pro card in Masters, which means that luckily for bodybuilding, most people die at like 38 years old, so everybody's dead. Maybe I'll have a chance at winning. So anyway, check it out. We're going to start with these questions in no order whatsoever from the Tiger Fitness Facebook page. And let's make sure that all of the comments are in here. Okay, cool. From Edward Blattis. Man, Edward. Out of all the bodybuilding fitness people you know or have trained with, who trains the hardest? Now, I've trained a lot of hard trainers who train hard. Mike Rashid, for one. Even my business partner, Sean Torbody, trains hard. I've trained with a lot of others. I've trained with Dana Lynn Bailey, who trains insanely hard. So much she got rhabdo last year. But I'd say the man I've trained with multiple times, who brings it beyond a level with weight and endurance and supersets and trisets and just crazy-ish and cardio. Talking warming up with an hour of step mill. That'd be Kai Green. Kai Green, now keep in mind, I trained with Ronnie. I trained with Dorian, but it was past their heyday. It was past their prime. I trained back in the day with Quincy Taylor. I've trained with all the top pros. I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying that's how epic it is for Kai. I've trained with Phil. You know, so at the end of the day, Kai, when it comes to all around grueling intensity, length of workout, cardio inclusion, Kai Green is definitely the hardest training bodybuilder I have ever trained with. And this is coming from someone who's trained with multiple Mr. Olympias, Jake Cutler, you name it. So that's my answer. All right, from Jeremy Thomas. Thoughts on African mango on helping insulin, leptin sensitivity and resistance. Heard Dave on RX Muscle talk about it. Sound interesting in regard to leptin. Okay, leptin is a path we went down back in the day. There was a brand called Avant Labs, owned by my man Caleb Stone. Remember Caleb? We went over to his house. Good friend of mine, lived in the Venice Beach area. I think it was Venice. Yeah, he lived in Venice or something. We used to go visit him. Good friend of mine. He was big on leptin. He had a product called Leptogen, which was a kitchen sink of ingredients, tasted like absolute dog shit, and I don't know if it actually did anything. Leptin is higher when you're fat. So my opinion is, if you want higher leptin, get fat. Another way to increase leptin is to have a diet break. Diet breaks, I'm talking not 24-hour refeed, not 48 hours, not 60 hours, not 80 hours. 5 to 7 days of a diet break, which is eating at or slightly above maintenance on a diet, will get your hormones back. How long those stay is transient, but in a lot of my clients who are probably watching this right now, they will note that when they hit a plateau, I'll usually give them a week off of dieting. Now, I don't just bump their calories right up. I usually increase it daily till it gets to that level. So for me, it's 2 weeks. We have a ramp up, and then we have a plateau, and then we go back to dieting as per usual. So, my opinion on African mango, I haven't seen any data that indicates that it's the next big thing in leptin sensitivity and all that good stuff. But I will say that, you know what? I don't know enough about it to comment from yay or nay, but I would say if it sounds too good to be true, and Dave mentioned it, it'll probably be for sale by one of his sponsors next week. From Rob Haskins, tricep tendonitis, what are ways to work around and or help heal or lessen the pain? Alvin Kamenson, laser therapy, and ibuprofen. Ibuprofen has to be the stupidest thing you could say in this situation. Ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is your body's response to help heal. I do not like the use of ibuprofen at all. I do not like the use of anti-inflammatories from an NSAID standpoint. I'm okay with a natural anti-inflammatory like fish oil. I'm not dissing Alvin, I'm just giving my answer. Massage, definitely good. Laser therapy, not quite sure. I do like the data we've seen on red light therapy, both far and near. Red, mostly I believe for that one we'd use near red light therapy, which would be good. It's the near waves. It's basically red light therapy. Another thing I would do is, you know what, things that really stress that joint, to kind of back off a little bit, right? And take some time. But the main thing is blood flow. Ibuprofen and ice are the worst things you could possibly do for that. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to recommend it, and we've donated a lot of money to charity using this code. So, but I use it every night. If you watch my Instagram stories, my Instagram is @Marc Lobliner. I use something called the Marc Pro. It's www.marcpro.com. MARCPRO.com. marcpro.com, coupon code Lobliner, Lobliner. You save nothing, but with that code, we've made some generous donations to charity. Now, what a Marc Pro does is it activates muscle, and it basically gets the muscle pumping, gets the blood flowing, allows your body to get all the waste byproducts out of there, and allows you to heal. Muscle activation, not anti-inflammation, is what leads to recovery. So it's not a matter of stopping the inflammation, that stops the healing process. It's a matter of encouraging the body to move through the inflammatory process. Again, it's marcpro.com, coupon code Lobliner. I own 2 of them, one for when at home, one for traveling, so I can leave one at home for my kids. Any advice for someone who wants to start bodybuilding in their mid-40s? From Art Good. Art, the advice is the same I'd give to a 20-year-old. Go to the gym and start working out. You don't have to, thing is, there was a bodybuilding post that I actually usually don't chime in. There was a guy who was on a lot of GH, had a huge gut, and looked like absolute shit. And everybody was clowning on him, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, this guy's an amateur. The qualifications to be an amateur bodybuilder are 0, except for paying the fee. Anybody, including anybody, there's no rules, basically. There's no qualifier. You can enter any amateur show as an anybody and do it. So my opinion is, if you enjoy lifting weights, you don't have to compete. Bodybuilding isn't about competing. Bodybuilding is about taking your body and molding it into something and being healthier. Runners are bodybuilders. Yoga practitioners are bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are people who build their body. They're people who enhance their body. They're people who improve. They're people who basically are healthy. They're building themselves. To be a bodybuilder, in my sense of the word, is basically to exercise. For example, my wife is a bodybuilder. She will never step on a competitive bodybuilding stage. And if you picked her up from a lineup, you'd be more, even though she trains with me, she's my training partner when I'm not traveling, you would be more akin to just call her a normal stay-at-home mom versus a fitness competitor. But she's still a bodybuilder. She does the same exercises I do. She squats every day. She deadlifts heavy. She benches heavy. She rows heavy, relatively speaking. And she trains for hypertrophy. But she's not a competitive bodybuilder. So the key is, what can I do to be a bodybuilder? Move. Be alive. You're a bodybuilder. Congratulations. To be a competitive bodybuilder, everybody can do it. To be a successful competitive bodybuilder, that takes sacrifice. And generally speaking, it's going to be tough at 40. But like I always say, who are you competing against? You know, at 40 years old, you're probably not going to start up and win Mr. Olympia. But as long as you get better every day and you are your own competition, who gives a fuck? From Jarman Seymour, what diet are you currently on? My diet very closely resembles the Drop Factor diet at dropfactorbook.com. It's a free book. It's dropfactorbook.com. But let's just go into exactly what I ate today. Everybody want to do that? Because my diet varies because it does. I'm a flexible dieter, and I also don't measure my food because, well, I've been doing this a long time, and I can pretty much gauge what I need. Right now, I'm trying to put on some weight, so I'm eating a little bit more, but I'm also not stuffing myself because my activity level is really, really, really high. So for meal one, I wake up every morning. I have my 32 ounces of water with nectar, machine greens. I have my pills with it, my Peak Physicor, Mental Jewels, all that shit. Machine Fuel, Natural Light, a big old shaker. I put a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in it, and I'm good to go. I have a 5 fish oil to start the day. So I drink my Ritual AM with Pachamama coffee after I do that. So I start my day with that, micronutrients and vitamins and supplements and health supplements, right? So for breakfast, I had 2 whole eggs, pasture raised, beautiful eggs full of DHA and healthy fats. And I had 2 outright pancakes. Outright pancakes are amazing because 2 eggs don't have much protein. Outright pancakes give me the protein, so I don't have to add egg whites. And fuck egg whites, they don't taste good. And then I went to the gym. Before I went to the gym, I had a scoop of MTS whey and a frozen banana in it. On the way to the gym, I had an outright bar. On the way to I got work on my soft tissue done, I had another outright bar. When I got home after my soft tissue work, I had about 8-ounce burger patty made with grass-fed beef. I make it myself at home, and I had that with an ambrosia planta shake. So what I do is I take a whole bunch of lettuce, ice, a scoop of ambrosia planta, banana maple flavor, and I blend it all together with a whole bunch of spinach. I'm talking like a half pound or a pound of spinach. And I ate that. And then I had another scoop of MTS whey and a banana. And then I had another outright bar. And then I had a little bit of beef jerky and some pumpkin seeds because it's Halloween and we carved pumpkins. And my wife roasted them. They were delicious. What I'm going to have for dinner is I'm going to have 2 of those burger patties. I usually have some salmon, but I need to cook some. I didn't have time to cook any today. And then for my bedtime snack, if I don't have any snacks in between, I usually have a couple scoops of MTS whey and sometimes an outright bar crumbled on top. That's my diet. I don't recommend following my diet because it's my diet, but that's what I'm currently eating right now today. My family from Mike Rock. My family is a different diet approach. Thanks for making them. They come in 100 different kinds now. But don't neglect the second best outright product you have. How about a few more flavors for the pancakes? Just being real, the pancakes have extremely low margins, and our inventory level is very high right now. We have it right where we need for Black Friday. After Black Friday, we'll replenish. We're looking at doing another outright pancake flavor or 2 around February or March of next year. But again, we're balancing a lot of budgets. There's a lot of moving parts, and I have to put my focus on what sells. The pancake mix is a higher end pancake mix. It's boutique. We don't make much money on it, and it's expensive compared to other things. But it's worth the money in my opinion, but it's a very small market. So right now, the one flavor we have is delicious. We have a buttermilk, plain buttermilk coming out, and one other. From Jafar Awadallah, favorite soy food? Edamame. From Bridget, can you elaborate on the difference between open chain and closed chain? A closed chain would mean you're closing off the chain, meaning your hands and feet are on the ground or a bar, most likely. There are variations. Or if you're doing a lunge, meaning one hand has a kettlebell in it, basically it goes from chain to chain, closing the chain, closing the hands, closing the feet. An open chain would be something like a leg extension where your feet are hanging out, so you're open chain. What an open chain movement does is it will put more pressure on the joint. Think about it, you're doing a leg extension and you don't have the chain closed off. All that pressure on your patella, on your kneecap, on your ACL is there. So when I say closed chain movements, they work most of the body, and they are more advantageous for overall health and wellness, in my opinion. How do you know if you are overtraining? From Bridget again. You're not overtraining. To reach a state of overtraining is a long-term, not only a nutrition issue, but a central nervous system issue. If overtraining was as prevalent as people think it is, every landscaper and gardener in the world would be overtrained. Bottom line is there's overreaching, there's central nervous system fatigue, but you're not overtraining. So the answer is don't worry about overtraining. You're never going to train hard enough to reach it. And if you do, then, well, you're fucking unique. From Jeff Parody, do you really think that weightlifting and taking 30 like a minute between sets is going to overtrain when you have boxers going into 12-week camps and training for 6 hours a day? How about Navy SEALs? They'd all be dead right now if overtraining existed. From Jeff, something must be wrong with my orange outright bar shirt. Makes my belly look round. I think you're just fat, Jeff. From Brent, how many times can you train legs a week if you're having surgery to repair a ruptured bicep tendon? I do squats every day. So the answer is daily. Just keep your volume in check. Are you ever going to make any other flavors of Epic Gains? We did have a caramel macchiato. It didn't sell very well. So we have cookies and cream, and even then it doesn't sell that great. So we're just keeping it because I like it. But honestly, I could discontinue that product and not be mad. It just doesn't sell that great. It's a phenomenal product, but it's a higher price mass gainer. And most people who buy mass gainers want some cheap shit. I don't want to make cheap shit, so I want an option for people. And the cookies and cream is really good. If you get tired of that, nothing I can do about it. But right now, there's really no reason for me to invest any more money into that SKU because it sells pretty shitty. Just being 100% honest. From Justin, how many hours of sleep do you recommend? I notice you don't sleep much as well. I work over. No, I do sleep much. The last 4 weeks I've been on traveling. I can show you my sleep app. I sleep 7 to 8 hours a night. I sleep at the same time. My wife and I go to bed around 10 to 11 every night. I wake up between 5 and 6 a.m. I'm normally in bed by 10. I'm up at 5 to 6, somewhere in there, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I get a little extra sleep on weekends. So you need, in my opinion, everybody needs at least 7 hours of sleep. And if you can sleep more, sleep more. The more, the better. From Brian Brown, and this will bring up the last question. I'll be switching to nights for work next year. My hours will be 6 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. How do you recommend me maximize my gains with that kind of schedule? Obviously, sleep is a must. Honestly, it's going to be tough because your body deals with light. It's your body's natural way of waking up and going down. Circadian rhythms, etc., etc., etc. So in my opinion, you just have to deal with it. You got to pay the bills first. Do the best you can. Find your sweet spot when you enjoy training the most. Is it optimal? No, but who gives a shit? At the end of the day, if you don't pay your bills, you're broke. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Marc Lobliner. That's not a game. Wait, hold on. Stop. I did not just say that. Facebook group. I'm going to link it down below. Tiger Fitness Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, type in Tiger Fitness Group. Tiger Fitness Group on Facebook, and that'll get you right there. And, should be fun. I'll see you there. Are you looking for the perfect supplement, non-hormonal, to help with lean mass gains, strength gains, as well as endurance gains? We have it. It's Peak Physicore, available in both lemon lime powder and capsules. The beautiful thing about this, when compared to placebo, it increased your lean body mass by 5 times, increased your bench press by 2 times, and also, for you guys interested in endurance, which even helps during weight training, 11% increase in VO2 max. When I was getting ready for my fight, boxing that is, this was my secret weapon. Strength, lean mass, VO2 max endurance. This is Peak Physicore, available now.
I got problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems I solve them. I run through the